Every intro I record sounds cringe, so I'm just going to say thanks again for the support on the recent videos. You guys seem to be really enjoying the Reddit stories, and so I have a bunch more to read today. While I continue to build out this Hobbit cottage area I've been avoiding working on, I'm not an amazing builder, but hopefully you don't come to this channel for the professional Minecraft gameplay. Alright, let's read some stories and judge some strangers. Okay, here's the first one. I found out my partner was emotionally involved with another girl while pursuing me. Is this something couples can recover from? Okay, so the poster is a 26-year-old female and her partner is a 28-year-old male. For context, from the very beginning, this relationship was serious. We met last year in June and he had recently moved to my city for work. We went on a few dates, hit it off really well, and I felt seen and wanted. I remember leaving those dates feeling like this might actually go somewhere. Soon after, in one of our conversations, he told me that there was some girl from his hometown that he had had a fling with, and mentioned that they were still in touch. I was obviously a bit upset, because they were talking every day, meeting often, and I was emotionally investing in him. He told me that he wasn't interested in her, that she was never someone he considered seriously, and that he had chosen me. I made it clear very early that I was a one person at a time kind of girl. I don't date around when I'm emotionally investing in someone. I asked him if he was on the same page, and he said yes. But a few weeks into dating, we had a fight. I told him I didn't feel comfortable with him being in touch with someone he had history with. And in that fight, he told me that had he been in his hometown, he probably would have dated her because she's amazing. That completely broke me, but later he apologized, admitting he was wrong, and said he would stop talking to her. Eventually, things seemed to settle down, and we continued building our relationship. Fast forward to now, we've been together for nearly a year. I recently found myself thinking about that old gut feeling again. I was at his place, and while he was at work, I opened his laptop. Uh-oh, cheating ass left his laptop laying around. That's it's a classic mistake. What are we gonna find in here? I know I shouldn't have, but what I saw wrecked me. There were WhatsApp messages between him and that girl from the time he was pursuing me, and messages from just before and after our dates. They were very emotionally involved. He would ask her how she was doing, calls, video calls. She even sent him an Instagram reel on Girlfriend's Day asking for a gift, and another one on how to make a tissue rose, asking him to learn it for her. He said, okay. This wasn't just a casual fling. I saw texts from their chat 2 days before our first date, where he said he loved her and they both admitted that they had pretty strong feelings for each other. But I have no clue why they didn't just pursue a relationship. Even while we were having our conversations about exclusivity, while I was showing up consistently and investing in this relationship, he was sending her Instagram reels, some even flirty or thirsty. He used to save her snaps, but never once saved mine. These are such little details, but they sting. He's remorseful now. He's crying. He's apologizing. Says he didn't realize what he was doing. Says he's been fully honest and loyal since things got serious. And yes, I've seen that change in him. For many months now, he's been loving, supportive, and consistent. But this betrayal that kept me in the dark while having that emotional intimacy with someone else hurts in a way that I cannot explain. I love him. I've built a life with him. But I can't stop thinking that I was just the second choice who happened to be available while the other girl was out of reach. Is this something that couples can recover from? All right. Okay, so ignoring the clear violation of privacy of going through your significant other's laptop and reading their messages, I think that this poster, that she should break up with this guy. I mean, the thing that stands out to me is, first of all, that he was being incredibly sneaky and lying to her at the start of their relationship when he was saying that he was being exclusive with her, and then emotionally investing in another person, I think is wrong. That's pretty easy to see. But the thing that really stands out to me is that in an argument with her, he said that he would have chosen the other girl if he lived in his hometown. That's just an incredibly mean thing to say to your partner, to say that you wouldn't have chosen them. I think if I had come into that sort of information, about the start of a relationship, I think I would find it hard to trust that person moving forward. It does seem like this guy was making meaningful change. It seems like their relationship was getting to a better place at the time that this poster discovered those messages. So I guess it's just going to depend on... This girl's just going to have to answer the question of, does she trust him moving forward to not do it again? To answer her question more directly, like, can they recover from this? Yeah, they absolutely can recover from this. But it's just going to take this poster trusting that the guy will never do it again. If it were me, I would not. But I don't know anything. What would you do in this situation? Do you trust this guy or no? All right, this one caught my eye and I had to read it. I house sit for other people with the specific goal of going through their things. This post is written by a 34-year-old male. Okay, he writes, so I've been a house sitter / dog watcher for a number of years. It's truly easy money, and I'm excellent at what I do. Odds are your place will be cleaner than when you left for your vacation or work trip. I'll collect your mail and organize it by the date it was delivered. Wash all my towels and the bed sheets. Never have a guest over, etc., etc. However, unknown to you and every person who has let me house sit, I'm going through your things. Specifically your clothes. Mainly just your clothes. I'll open and go through every closet, and open and go through all your drawers. Dresses, suits, bathing suits, sweaters, pants, skirts, underwear, scarves, jackets, hosiery, hats. You own it. I'm going to have a look at it. If I really like something, if it really catches my eye or gets my heart going, I'll try it on. I'll stand in front of your mirror and see how it fits on me. I'll wear it around the house and see how it feels, especially if you're a married woman. For some reason, your things in particular, I love to look through and wear. Yes, the thrill is doing something I'm not supposed to be doing, and the thrill of possibly getting caught in your sexiest outfit. But mainly, if you thought it was nice enough to buy and wear, I want to see why. When I'm done, I'll fold it back up or hang it exactly how I found it. You never know. How do I know? Because you've asked me to house sit again and again and again. It started back when I was in high school. My friends would have a party, and when everyone was outside, I'd go upstairs and see what their mom had tucked away. Then I'd try it on and see how it looked. Then fold it back up and put it away like nothing ever happened. Then I started house sitting. I found out that I could have free reign and not have to sneak around. I'm sure this all sounds incredibly creepy. And like a breach of trust. I'm not looking for advice, just wanted to get it off my chest. Looking back, it does feel wrong, so I regret it now. This is so insane. This is honestly just a cautionary tale. Just be careful of who you let into your house and around your property. Because there's just going to be some guy that's posting on Reddit about how he's wearing all your clothes. All right, let's move on from that creepy note. Okay, this next one talks about death of a pet. If that bothers you, you've been warned. Okay, here it is. My son was being difficult, so I put our dog to sleep. We got a golden retriever 13 years ago, and my son was 4. My son never got bored with him. Our dog started to have health issues, and it got to the point where he started to have seizures and suffered from dehydration. This asshole vet said our dog could live a few more years if we got him a kidney transplant. I didn't even ask how much, let alone how incredibly selfish that was. Our dog is 89 years old in human years. It's time to let go. My son says we should do everything to save our dog's life, including getting a loan to pay for it. I couldn't reason with his logic. Last night was my breaking point when the dog couldn't even stand up. He just sat there. As soon as my son went to school, I took the dog to be put to sleep. I was there the whole time, and he wasn't alone. That dog was spoiled his whole life. He wouldn't drink water unless it was bottled and opened in front of him. What? Okay. My son came home and I lied. I said the dog had a massive seizure and died before we got to go to the vet. I hadn't seen him cry since he was 10. Thank God I did what I did because I couldn't take one more minute of my son being emotional. Okay, I mean, I have thoughts on, like, putting animals down. This doesn't seem, like, putting the dog down doesn't seem that terrible. The dog was in pain. I have, like, some hang-ups with that where it feels like you're taking away an animal's agency when you put them down. But, like, for the most part, yeah, like, the animal is suffering. they should probably be put down. I think the real problem with this post is that the poster just seems like a dick. And like a kind of bad father. I don't know. I'm not a parent, so I guess I don't know how to really raise a kid. But I will say that, like, blaming your son for being emotional and being upset about that, it is, like, unacceptable. Like, this poster just appears to have absolutely no sympathy for their kid who is upset about their dog of 10 years dying. Like, one of the first experiences of loss in childhood is like the death of a pet. And if you're just standing over your child being cold and unfeeling when they're upset about their pet dying, like, that's terrible. I think lying to the kid about it is like probably just okay. I personally think that you should be like forthcoming and tell your kid that you're putting the dog down. It shouldn't be something that you hide. Like, this should be a learning experience. But I guess I can understand, plenty of parents tell white lies to their kids. But this guy seems to be doing it with like malicious intent. Like, he's angry at his son for being sad about his dog dying. And it just comes off really bad. Like, he had to lie to his kid, otherwise his kid was going to be even more emotional. Like, teach your kid how to handle their emotions. The bit about the dog not being able to drink any water unless it was bottled and opened right in front of him is so good. That would bother me a lot too if my dog was that particular. Like, really, it didn't drink any other water. It had to be bottled. It's like drinking Evian. This was not a Am I the Asshole post, but I'll answer it anyways. This guy is an asshole. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this zombie that's been moaning at me in here needs to die right now. Where are you? Okay. Okay, you're dead. Thank God, I can think now. Okay, here's the next one. I told my husband I have to travel for work. The truth is harder to explain. My husband and I have both worked from home for 5 years. That means 24/7 togetherness. No commutes, no office breaks, no solo grocery runs, just us. Always, all the time. I really do love him. This isn't about wanting to leave or cheat or blow up our marriage. But somewhere along the way, I started to feel like I was dissolving. Like there was no space that was just mine. No thoughts that were just mine. No silence that wasn't filled with someone else's voice. So I lied and told him my company was hosting a mandatory multi-day event at HQ that's a 3-hour drive from my house. I even packed work clothes and a laptop to sell it. In reality, I took PTO, booked a hotel 3 hours away, and left. Right now, I'm lying in a hotel bed just doing nothing. There's something incredibly peaceful about knowing this little pocket of time is mine and mine alone. No one knows where I am. No one needs me. I'm not hiding anything scandalous. I know lying isn't great, but I also know if I'd told the truth, it would have hurt his feelings or started a weird argument. That way, I get what I need and no one gets hurt. And honestly, it's been wonderful. I think my work will probably host more mandatory events in the future. They provided some updates here for just like additional context with the commenters asking questions and whatnot. So I'll read them right now. A lot of people are asking why I didn't just talk to him about needing space. That only considers my side. His feelings matter too. And here's the truth. His needs directly conflict with mine. He finds comfort in constant closeness. He would be hurt to hear that I need time apart, even if he says he supports it. We would talk, he would agree to my alone time, and I would still take the time. But now he's sad that I wanted it, and I would feel guilty for needing it. The result is the same, just heavier for both of us. How is that better? And yes, it's also true that talking to him about it takes away the feeling of freedom and independence that I get from just deciding to do this on my own. Both reasons can be and are true at the same time. And then there's another update here. Let me add some additional context about going out with friends, hobbies, running errands by myself, etc. I do all these things, and he doesn't have a problem with it. I'm not a prisoner. But these activities are social engagements or in a public space where there are expectations of how to act. Doing these things is vastly different than being in a completely alone and private space. I'm never at the house alone because my husband doesn't drive, so if he leaves the house, I'm driving him somewhere. As far as lies in relationships go, this one, doesn't seem that bad. But I just want to, make it clear that my opinion on this is, if you're lying in your relationship, in any part of it, I think that's a bad sign. I think there's some weakness there, and you should probably just be being honest with your partner. But that being said, I completely understand the impulse to want to have a separate space, have some private time, be alone and separate from your partner. I think this poster has a valid feeling and they should act on that, but they shouldn't act on it by lying to their partner. I think all of this context and everything that they were adding is all just really excuses that they're making not to just be honest with their partner and tell them that they want some alone time. Yes, it will be a hard conversation, but you're rationalizing too much. You should respect your partner enough to tell them the truth about what you want. And if you're not able to do that, then the relationship is not as strong as you think it is. But is this really that bad of a situation? No, the poster isn't doing anything really that nefarious. They're not cheating or anything like that. They're just lying, which isn't great, but at least they're not doing anything egregious. Okay, let me go ahead and get the next one pulled up here. I turned my partner into a parasite and now I resent him for it. This poster is a 26-year-old female and the partner is a 28-year-old male. I'm a naturally giving person, meaning I do all I can to satisfy my partners. Long day at work? I'll take off your shoes and rub your feet. Your favorite band is in the city? I got us tickets already, don't mention it. You asked me to come over? I brought you your favorite snacks and drinks. You're coming over? I made you food and rented your favorite movie. I can't help it. I grew up poor. I never had a room of my own, not even a bed. I know what it's like to go to bed with an empty stomach and pretend to be on a diet so people don't notice you actually can't afford lunch. So when I love someone, I do everything I can to make their lives easier. My partner comes from a neglectful single mother who ended up passing at a young age. It took a very long time for him to even feel comfortable enough to share anything that was going on with his life because that's what he was taught at a young age. However, in the last half year, he finally became comfortable enough to receive my care. It went from being hesitant to expect certain things to all the time. All I wanted was to be a reliable shoulder for my partner. Someone who would have his back when he needed, and someone who I could rely on as well. But somehow, now I'm having to pick up and drop him off everywhere because he can't afford his car anymore. Sometimes he'll ask me to stop at the drive-thru and, after ordering, pretend to be on his phone and expect me to pay. Last week, he asked me to send him an Uber because his card declined and he had a shift to go to. I picked him up once he got out, and to my surprise, he asked if we could make a stop at Walmart because he was in the mood for snacks. With what money? Mine? Writing it down, I'm embarrassed and to an extent guilty that I'm maybe overreacting. But it's just the fact that things were meant to be as a gesture or favor are suddenly expected and none of them are reciprocated. Sometimes not even thanked for. The thing is, I could blame this entirely on him, but this is not the first partner that changes entirely after I act caring towards them. My last partner did the same thing to the point where he would be upset if I bought stuff with my own money because, I can't cover my own car bill this month. I don't get it. How is it that I end up being my partner's mother when I don't even want kids? How can I stop this? I'm so heartbroken. I feel like I ruin people and condition them into being the most dependent version of themselves, and I hate myself for it. I'm going to diagnose this person as a people pleaser. At least that's what they seem like to me, which I identify with. I think I also can be a people pleaser sometimes. The top comment on this post is written better than any answer or anything that I could ever say. So I'm just going to go ahead and read that. Okay, this commenter writes, "You've been loving people in the way that you wished someone had loved you. Fully, selflessly, and without condition. That instinct comes from a good place, but it's also tied to survival. You learned that you need to earn people's love by proving yourself and anticipating their needs before they're voiced. And because of that, you keep attracting people who are drawn to your emotional labor and are not ready to match it. You're just giving so much that they don't have to step up. That's not on you, but it's on you to stop allowing it. Going forward, stop leading with how much you can give. Lead with how much they're willing to meet you halfway. Pay attention to who shows up without being asked and takes initiative. And when someone reveals that they're comfortable benefiting from your care without reciprocating it, believe them and walk away. You're not here to fix anyone, you're here to be loved properly. If this keeps happening, it might be time to reflect on why your love feels safest when you're needed instead of valued. Therapy can help, but even without it, you can start asking yourself one thing in every connection. Is this mutual? If the answer is no, then protect your peace. I think you just need to leave him. He's not going to change. That might be the best written comment on the internet I've seen in a while. And I think they kind of nailed it. It'll be hard work, but this poster needs to find someone who is willing to put in the same amount of effort that she's willing to. Okay, I was just scrolling and I came across this one. I don't really have anything to say about this. I just want to read it because I thought it was funny. This one says, I had an IQ test done, and it turns out I have an IQ of 78. Apparently, I'm like 2 points away from being mentally handicapped. They said there's nothing they can really do to make me any more smarter than I already am. I don't really feel like I'm dumb, but IDK, maybe I am. That's rough. That's rough, man. The guy responded to himself and said, I've just been told I'm Forrest Gump maxing and I feel better now. All right. Let's get to a serious one here. By the way, I'm taking a break from building for a bit and gathering some resources that I need. I wish men understood how they could be loved if they let go of the things that kept them stuck. The OP for this one is a 30-year-old female, and her partner, who she talks about, is a 30-year-old male. Okay, she writes, I'm paraphrasing the title from an Instagram comment that resonated with me, and it's something I'm seeing more and more in the relationships my friends have as well as my own. My partner has a dream, an admirable dream, and one that might have worked out well with better timing, more organization, and especially more money. Unfortunately, he decided to go for it when he already had nothing, and invested tens of thousands of inherited and loan funds on starting a business that was supposed to become his life. The timing was wrong. Most people do this when they've already made it and have the capital to fall back on. Granted, this was before we had an established relationship. I fell in love with who he is and held my breath that things would turn a corner soon, or he'd hit success from making the right connections. I suspect he has some form of neurodivergence. He's obsessive about the operations, which he all does himself, but has no sales hustle. It's been a decade and no real profits, and he just won't pivot. I still love him and would love to have a future with him. I've saved money diligently and would support him training in a new trade or going to school, but he won't do it. His last serious, intimate relationship ended for the same reason. I started dating him thinking he'd either learn how to make it work or learn the hard lesson of letting go. Part of me is okay with it. As long as he's happy, I'm happy. But I want more in life. I don't want our collective average to be scraping by. I want comfort. I want stability. I want to be proud of my home, and I want to relish my downtime. I see us eventually ending it over this, after years of mutual love and adoration, unless he hits a wall and decides to change. Literally 3 other closest friends of mine in their 30s, same thing. Boyfriends left their shitty office jobs or other unfulfilling careers to, quote, find themselves, and work on their art, music, consulting, starting their own businesses. Spent down savings, which were theirs to be fair, from their jobs, while getting unemployed, and now can't pitch in on anything with their partners. Houses, vacations, rings, weddings. One of these people gave an ultimatum. Go back into the workforce or I'll leave. It worked. The other 2 are watching their partners do the same spend down right now. We talk about it sometimes. I picture most of these dudes eventually getting left by their ambitious partners and dating down to match their emotional maturity. Finding someone who won't hold them accountable or loves how down to earth and what a self-starter they are. They're not bad men, but they're immature and they tend to drag down those who love them like anchors. It's frustrating because I see the same thing in my own relationship. I love my partner and I want to be with him. I sincerely hope his dreams work out. But if he sinks, I'm going to get tired of making the same excuses for why he can't come on vacation or why everything he owns falls apart. He's not relying on me, but he can't contribute to the shared future unless he does something else. I wish he can learn what a beautiful life we could have together and how he could be loved if he would just let go. It seems to me like this poster should just not be with this guy anymore. Like, it seems like she just wants to date somebody else that has a different living situation. If part of who this guy is pursuing his dreams, then she has to love him for that. And she does really love him, but if she can't accept that he wants to keep pursuing his dream, then she should probably just go find somebody else. And if he's destined to just go down swinging on this dream that's never going to pan out, then that's his problem. that's at least my thoughts on this. The expectation from a young age for boys and men is that you have to like make something of yourself. You have to become something important, prove to yourself and others that you're worthwhile. And a lot of your self-worth comes from your monetary success or your ambition. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying, for better or worse, that's kind of the way it is. So, I mean, I completely empathize with this guy. He wants to pursue his dream, and that's great. He should. He's not wrong to want to do that. If this poster's dream is to have a little bit more stability in her life, then it seems like this guy is not it. And I don't blame her for wanting stability and not wanting to support him. If they have a conversation and she lays out all of these problems and he's still not budging on making any sort of compromise with this, then, you know, maybe it's time for her to move on. I think it's a bit wrong of her to be upset with all men for wanting to quit their shitty office jobs and pursue their passions. I think that's maybe a little bit unreasonable. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to better yourself and pursue your art. Maybe I'm taking this a little bit too personally, though. I think she's right in that as you get older, your goals do have to change. Like, if you want a family, then you need to get a little bit more realistic about your career and everything. But if this guy is still into his dream, then let him pursue it. These people sound like they just have different goals for life than each other. And that's okay. You just want to make sure that you're finding someone that has similar or complementary goals with you. Anyways, let's read another story here. Okay, so I locked in off camera and actually built something that I'm kind of proud of. I think it looks pretty good. We got a water feature in here, and we got some landscaping done. I built out the rest of the little cottage. See if we can get an angle. We also got this cave sort of finished up here. The water kind of flows through and out of that, which is kind of cool. But I just wanted it to wrap around up here. And I want this to have like a pathway that goes over top of those other houses. And my current problem is figuring out how to do that. Okay, here's the next one. My boyfriend told me that he was putting me in my place after a small comment. I don't think someone who loves you says that. So the poster is 22 and female, and the boyfriend is 23 and obviously male. We've had arguments before, but this one really messed with my head. So I made a harmless comment the other day. I told my boyfriend he kind of had a marathon runner body, not as an insult, just as a light comment. He got annoyed, but I thought it was over. The next day, I told him I had gone to the gym and ended up vomiting twice. It was a rough session. Instead of checking in on me, he brought up my comment from the night before and threw it in my face. You say I look like a marathon runner, but you can't even handle one workout? How often do you even go to the gym? He said. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. I'm not comparing, I'm just putting you in your place. I don't think I even know how to describe how that felt. It was condescending, disrespectful, and it felt like he needed to win something at my expense. To make it worse, we had talked about how I love cherries the day before, and in the middle of this argument, he goes, "You know what? I'm not getting you cherries. You don't deserve them. What am I, a kid being punished?" I'm currently thinking of breaking up with him because I've reached the point where it's just too much. I don't think a man who truly loves a woman can treat her like that or talk to her in that way. Okay. How do you make the lighter colored mud again? It's not, no? How do you make the lighter colored mud? I know it's a block. No? Okay, I give up. I don't care. I don't care, we're not gonna use it. Yeah, I mean, this guy is a tool. I could see where he was insulted, with the poster saying that he had a marathon runner body. Like, you know, that's not an insult, but I guess I could see how someone who had a fragile ego could take that as as an insult. But like, there's no need to ever get petty and say stuff like that to your girlfriend. Like, if it bothers you, just be upfront about it. If this guy feels like he has to get even with you over such a small issue, then he's like not worth your time. Just break up. It's just, I don't know. That's all the building and stories I have for today. I think everything came out looking pretty neat. Next week's video might be a day or two delayed, but if you subscribe, you won't miss that notification when it comes out. Alrighty, bye now.